as hospitals start to get overwhelmed in various parts of the country, as resources start to grow thin, as people are giving up on contact tracing, the federal government can add more, but not an unlimited amount.
A stark warning from the Prime Minister to Canada's premiers. We can send help to control COVID, but there's only so much help to go around. Justin Trudeau announcing a First Ministers meeting to talk about changes to the health transfer payment system. But Trudeau says if push comes to shove, some could be left wanting.
Our resources are not infinite at the federal government, whether it comes to support on contact tracing, extra support on PPE, support through the military or the Red Cross. We are there to support the provinces as they handle this pandemic, but there is a threshold beyond which, when the cases spike too much, we might have to make really difficult choices about where to deploy the limited resources we have.
The Prime Minister's warning comes as large parts of Canada see dramatic spikes in COVID cases. New projections show the nation is on track for 10,000 new cases daily by mid-December. Canada is currently trending at half that number, and doctors are already warning of ICUs reaching capacity, routine surgeries being delayed, and the risk of a healthcare crisis.
Just look at what happened in the spring. I think what happened in northern Italy and in New York City, where you can see the news reports. Doctors were having to make life and death decisions in terms of who would be on a ventilator, who wouldn't, and who wants to be in that position. We don't see that at the present time, but I think it's sobering. Just look at the experience of what happened last spring.
Provincial leaders have been demanding more federal cash for health care, with a group of Conservative premiers making the plea in person in September. At the time, they wanted $70 billion in extra health care spending, but $19 billion in federal COVID relief money for the provinces already made available is still partially unspent. The premiers say they need regular payments, not a one-time top-up, but Trudeau says he can only make the money available to provinces, not force them to use it.
I think it's important to remember that we're in a federation where the federal government is not higher than or more important than provincial governments. We work as partners together, and the provinces expressed a need for these supports, and we delivered these supports to the provinces, and we will continue to.
Now, Trudeau says a firm date hasn't been set yet for that First Ministers meeting. The first 10 days of December is the time frame they're talking about, but the final details will have to be hashed out among the premiers. In Ottawa, Xiao Li, City News.